everyone. My name is Julia Garrido. I am your admissions counselor here at UTA. Thank you for joining us today. So I wanted to start off at College Park Center. It is where everything starts. It is also where you have Maverick series, basketball games, and plenty of other events. So UTA was founded in 1895. We established UT Arlington in 1967, and we adopted our Maverick Blaze in 1971. As you can see, Blaze is right over here, and this is the first logo that UTA had as far as when we became official as the University of Texas at Arlington. And then I always like to share the fountain that we have. We have plenty on campus, but one thing that I love to say is that they were created by our students, so engineering and architectural students, and during homecoming week, they always color the water blue to show our Maverick pride. So we are in the middle of DFW, so 30 minutes away from Fort Worth, 30 minutes away from Dallas, about a 30-minute drive from the DFW airport, and we are located right in the center of Six Flags, Hurricane Harbor, Texas Rangers, the Cowboy Stadium. We're about 10 minutes walking distance from the Cowboy Stadium. So just FYI, if you ever want to go to like a Cowboys game, a concert, or any type of event at the AT&T Stadium, you could probably park at and then just walk down. You wouldn't have to extra parking ticket. And like I said, it's just about a 10-minute walking to the Cowboy Stadium, which is pretty cool. Another thing I love about UT Arlington, it's the entertainment city, but also I love the food and how diverse it is because our school is very diverse. We also have that in our city. It is one of my favorite things about Arlington, actually. And so you can enjoy just not going out to events or enjoying like, Six Flags, but also the food is very good. So Maverick Speaker Series, like I mentioned prior, this is held at the College Park Center. It is free to students, and we have a lot of distinguished alumni come speak to students, as well as different like pop culture. So if you're familiar with Lou Diamond Phillips, if you're not, he was actually part of Stand and Deliver, one of my favorite movies, and also La Bamba. So if you haven't seen them, I definitely recommend them. But he was also an alumni of UTA, which is pretty awesome. And then we've also had Rihanna and Drake open concerts. Oh, sorry, here at UTA. So like I said, these events take place on campus, College Park, and they're free to you. So our academics, we have a lot of distinguished academics here at UTA. One of them would be starting off with business. They have the highest accreditation with all their degrees, which is Association to Advanced Collegiate Schools of Business. This is the highest quality of faculty delivered relevant to challenging curriculum and provide educational career opportunities for you. They also have what we call the San Mercue Financial Lab, and so you're able to look at the stocks there, and students get a chance to manage it. It's pretty awesome. They also have a cafe that all organizations within the business school can also operate. So you know how the business actually works, which is pretty cool. As far as our social work program, they work alongside with our engineering students as well. And so what they do is social work would go to the elderly homes, so of course prior to COVID, and they would take these robots designed by the engineering students. And so what they notice is that the elderly actually love to interact with the robots because it made them dance. It was just a fun interaction that they had, which is pretty awesome. Um, and so as far as our engineering, we have a lot of options for you guys. And so as you can see on our picture is that we have like the race cars, which students build from the ground up. And so they go on to the sorry they actually compete, and so with that, all the students that participate in this organization, they actually get 100% job placement. So it's open to any major. You don't have to be within the engineering program. You can be from the arts department and be able to participate in the race cars as well. And then also for our nursing, we are #1 in Texas that produces the most amount of nursing students here in Texas, which is pretty awesome. It only talks about the education that you receive, and the hospitals around DFW love UTA students. So you get to practice, you get that one-on-one with our Smarties, which are basically dummies, but they can stimulate birth, any seizures like burns, and so you get to interact with them. Another cool thing is that actual theater students come to the nursing lab and they act out as if they were actually in the hospital. So it also gives them that real life situations that could happen when you're in the hospital. And of course, but not least, we do have an architectural program at UTA. We're the only public school within DFW that provides architecture. So if you're interested, UTA is the place to be. So be bold, be ambitious, set yourself apart. This is an initiative that UTA has created for students to receive the distinguished stole by participating in either 5 of these events. So it's either undergraduate research, leadership development, community engagement, global connections, or career development. And like I said, you can receive a stole. You do have to at least participate in 3 out of the 5 in order to receive the stole and wear it for your graduation, which is pretty good. And then, like I said, it just sets yourself apart prior to any other students around other colleges. So housing, we have up to 7 different housing options. Our application is completely free to students. We, we want students to get involved in traditions, organizations, and so all of this is at walking distance to you. It is said that if you do live on campus your first year, then you're more than likely going to graduate within 4 years. Another thing that I do like to share about our living is their residential learning communities where you can basically live, let's say, in Arlington Hall, and that's business and nursing, right? Or the Casey Hall, which would be engineering students, biology students, and pre-med students. Vandergrift liberal, it's for liberal arts students in the honors college and the Terry scholars. So there's opportunities for you. Other than the residential living, we have apartments, houses for families, Greek life, and then private apartment. So I definitely recommend living on campus. And so for traditions, we have what we call the bed races, which is one of the most popular traditions here on campus. What you do is you get a group of friends and you decorate your bed. So they have different themes each year. And so one of them would be one of my co-workers told me that he participated in this. He is an alum from UTA. And so he said him and his buddies ended up dressing up as robots. And so when they did that, they didn't really think it through. They just put boxes, they spray painted them, and that was it. And so then when they participated, of course, they did not win the race because the wind actually pushed them back. So it was an epic fail for them. And he said they definitely are going to think it through if they decide to participate, any other time. And then, of course, we have Uzba. So another fun fact that I can share is it is very messy, but it's fun. Now, when you do participate, be mindful and do not wear a new pair of shoes because you're not going to be able to use them ever again. Why? Because the mud actually pulls you down. So you actually have to put tape around your shoes so that your shoes don't come off. And so one of my other coworkers told me that he participated in this with a brand new pair of shoes. And as much as he tried, he basically lost the new pair of shoes that he had. So keep that in mind if you do decide to become part of the USBA tradition. And then we do have what we call the polar plunge. This is a very big game that a lot of freshmen participate in, and it usually takes place a few weeks before school starts. And all you have to do is put water in the opposite team's boat, and they have to flip over. And so that's basically how you win. But, you do have to know how to swim, I would say, just because it is on water. And then, of course, we do have homecoming, game where you can dance with Blaze, and then we do have different parades the week of, which is pretty cool. UTA is, very, very prideful, and they love to wear their orange and blues around campus. So keep that in mind. So now for the part that I love to talk about is we are #1 in Texas, #2 in the nation for the lowest student debt. Why? Because we are very generous with the aid that we give students. So as you can see, places making it rain. And I'm going to talk about why. So merit-based scholarships are offered to any student based on their rank, GPA, SAT, or ACT scores. And so you do have to meet the qualifications. We do have different levels of scholarships given to students. Each one is a different tier, and based on your rank, that's how you're going to receive the scholarship. Keep in mind, this year, you only have to meet 2 of these qualifications, but even if you don't, there are opportunities for you to receive some type of scholarship. So as far as the Maverick Academic Scholarship, that one is divided in two different levels where you can receive $1,000 if you do not meet any of these qualifications, but are taking maybe a dual credit class, an AP class, any type of honors class that will grant you $1,000. As far as not meeting the qualifications or maybe just having one, then it goes up and that would be about a $2,000 scholarship. I hope that makes sense, but if you don't, you can always feel free to ask me any questions. And of course, in order to receive the scholarships, the deadlines are different, but make sure that you apply beforehand. But one of the deadlines is December 4th, the other one is December 15th. Okay. So how to apply? You either apply on Apply Texas or the Common App. You submit your fee waiver or fee, send your SAT or ACT scores. These are optional this year. And then of course send your high school, and if you're taking any dual credit or you're in the early college program, we need those transcripts as well. Okay, and so our application is really simple and easy. It's just the application. There's no essay requirements, no resumes or recommendation letters, so just keep that in mind. As far as the freshman admissions criteria, if you're in the top quarter of your class, there is no minimum. We only need all the documents that I talked about previously, which is how to apply, right? In order to get an admissions decision. The sooner we receive everything, the sooner we can give you an admissions decision. Now, if you're in the second, third, or fourth quarter, then they're going to do an individual review. We still need all the documents, but just keep in mind that we do need all documents to make a decision. And then as far as what are we looking for, we're going to look at your GPA, your class rank, courses taken, and other relevant criteria. One thing I did forget to say on the top quarter is if you're on the top 25% of your class, then you get automatic admittance, but we still need those documents. We can't just say, oh yeah, you're 25%, but we haven't received your transcript. So we wouldn't be able to give you that admissions decision. So financial aid, there are a couple of steps that you have to take. You apply FAFSA, TASFA, and of course they open up every October 1st. Register, this is for males only. You have to be registered for the selective service in order to receive any type of aid. You also have to check your financial aid, and this is mailed to you through mass mail. A lot of students tend to not look at their mail whenever they have applied, like they don't even set it up. That is a very important step into getting admissions decisions and also financial aid awards. And a lot of times you'll be notified if you were selected for verification through your Maverick email. So make sure to check, and activate that account. And then of course, once you have been selected for verification and submitted all your documents, then you will receive an award letter, which you will have to accept your awards. That includes grants and any scholarships that UTA awards you by May 1st, okay? And then of course, the last step is submit the Texas Grant Eligibility Form, and this is usually done through your FAFSA or TASFA. So keep that in mind. So for my students that are DACA students, undocumented students, or dreamers, you do have to take initial steps, and you will have to submit a notarized SB 1528 affidavit, complete your TASFA, which is available October 1st, if you are a TASFA student, please, please, please turn it in as soon as possible. Your deadline will be January 15th. And this is every year. This is your deadline, okay? If you submit it a day after, then you might not receive any type of aid. So just keep that in mind, okay? And then of course, we are going to need your final high school transcript, and you will have to take the TB immunization shot. So it all starts and it also ends here. It's been 4 years, and this is where you're going to graduate. And it is also another step looking forward to your future. So College Park is where your graduation will take place, but it's not the end. It's just the beginning of a new adventure for you. So welcome to Maverick Country. And here is my information. Stay in touch. Please feel free to email me or give me a call. I am available. I am also available for any individual appointments. If you need help with your financial aid or your applications, I'm more than happy to help you. I have provided different QR codes here. So if you see, you can actually take your camera right now and go directly to these different links. So one is Maverick Experience. Definitely recommend going to one of our Maverick Experience events. If not, you can also visit other virtual events. Any UTA tours, we are having tours, but they are small, so you can go here and reserve your spot. It also talks about our academics and then other scholarships that we provide to students. In order to apply to these scholarships, you will have to get admitted. So make sure to submit your application and your documents as soon as possible, okay? And that is it. Thank you guys. Once again, my name is Julia Garrido, and I am always happy to assist you. All right, Cheyenne, do you want to go next?
Yeah. Hey, everyone. My name's Cheyenne Conkin. I'm the academic recruiter for the College of Liberal Arts at UTA. Let me share my screen really quick. Okay. Okay. Alrighty. So yes, like I said, I am the academic recruiter for the College of Liberal Arts. I'm just going to go over it very briefly and kind of give you a little overview of what programs we offer, what majors we have, and what careers can come from it. All of my contact information is on this slide. There's also a little QR code if you want to schedule a direct meeting with me. So if you want to, sorry, I'm trying to look at the chat. I saw something popped up. So if you guys want to schedule a meeting, you can, but this will also be at the end of the presentation, so don't worry about that. Okay. So the first thing I want to talk about with you guys is transferable skills. I don't know if y'all know what these are, but it's basically things like working in a team, leading a team, critical thinking skills, oral, written communication skills. All of these things are kind of what you pick up along the way while you're getting a degree. So in the College of Liberal Arts, we focus pretty heavily on transferable skills, mostly because that's what companies look for when they hire you. You know, a degree is really, I mean, it's necessary, obviously, but those skills that you have, that's what's going to make the difference between you and someone else. And that's something that COLA really focuses on. So for me, for example, I have an undergraduate degree in marketing and an undergraduate degree in French, but I'm doing academic recruiting. So I'm not really doing marketing, but the skills I picked up along the way of being like people oriented and being able to have critical thinking skills and work in a team and do this kind of thing, like present to people and be comfortable with that. Those were all things that I learned along the way. And those are all things that got me to this position where I am today. So transferable skills are very important, and they're something that the College of Liberal Arts really works on with all of their programs. And these are all of our departments. So when I normally would think about the College of Liberal Arts, like the first thing that came to my head was like theater and art. And I didn't really realize until I started working here, obviously, that it's way more than just theater and art. The College of Liberal Arts encompasses a whole lot of different areas of study, everything from art to philosophy. So I always tell everyone, I promise whatever you're interested in, you can find it in COLA. I know you can. Like, there's a few exceptions, but I know that you'll find something you're interested in COLA. I'm not going to go through all of them because, again, within each of these departments, it's 5 or 6 different majors. So it'd be a lot to go through all of that. But if you have any questions about specific ones, I'd be happy to answer them as best I can at the end, or we can, again, set up an individual meeting. So one of the things that students are really interested in is, what career am I going to get if I go in COLA? And these are just a few of the options you can do. A teacher, whether that be through our English department or our history department, philosophy, anthropology, sociology, all that. That could be a teacher as well as an editor. You could work with the Department of Defense through our criminology and criminal justice department, or even our communication department as well. And then obviously music, dance, theater performance, also directing, production, things like that, music composition, and obviously law through political science. But again, COLA is so broad that there's no way I could put all of the career opportunities on this slide. So for example, this picture that's on the slide is actually our art students who are learning about packaging design. And so that's a career that you've probably never thought of in your entire life, but when you get a package in the mail, someone designed that box. Like, someone designed the little pattern that's on the inside, or the little logo that's on the outside, or how it opens up and how it's presented. Like, someone was behind that design. And that's something that our art and art history department is really working on launching, because if you think of it, I get an Amazon package probably every single day. Like, I get packages every day. And so to think about what's going into that packaging and who's behind that packaging, it's really interesting. And obviously, it's probably not something you grew up thinking that, like, I want to be a product packaging design. That's what I want my career to be. That's probably not what you grew up thinking, but it is a job, and it is something that is really needed in today's world. So last couple things, I just wanted to brag on a little bit of our high points in the college. So we actually, this top picture right here is like a mock courtroom kind of thing. So if you are interested in law, or you're interested in political science, that is something that you can do, is join our moot court team. And we do go to competitions both on the national and international scale. And it's good real world experience, because, I talked about transferable skills earlier. And not many people can say before they graduated that they already did, a mock trial. That's something that's pretty impressive, and pretty unique to UTA and COLA. And piggybacking off of that, the political science program actually has a fast track to a master's program as well. And I know that's kind of hard to think about when you're 18 years old and you're just trying to figure out what you want to major in for undergrad. But as someone who did not decide that they wanted to get a master's until their senior year of college, it is really, really good to think about that beforehand and think about that early. And if you can do a fast track and get some of your credits out of the way and finish sooner, then that is always great. The next thing I want to talk about is that our art and art history department is ranked number 4 in the state of Texas. So I'm not from Texas, and I just realized how large Texas is working here. So being ranked number 4 in the entire state is kind of a huge deal, because Texas is kind of massive. So our art and art history department is doing some amazing work. We've just started a couple programs that are really cool. We have a video game program now where you're learning the history behind video games and then also what goes into designing them. And so you're kind of getting to see both sides of it, which is really awesome. And then the last thing I want to talk about is our brand new undergraduate program, which is philanthropy. It is housed under our communications department, and it is the second undergraduate program in the country. So not just in Texas, but in the whole country. So I think of philanthropy as wanting to help people, but not wanting to go the traditional route of being a doctor or a nurse or a teacher. You know, some people don't like blood, some people don't like kids, so they can't go that route. But the philanthropy program, you really get to help people through working with nonprofits, charities, different organizations like that, because in the same way that you see a Fortune 500 company as needing to be ran successfully, you know, philanthropies and programs like nonprofits, they also need to be ran successfully. But there's a lot of different facets that go into those that makes them a little bit different. And so our philanthropy program, I have very high hopes for it, and I'm very excited to see what our students come up with and where they take it. And that's all I have. I said it was going to be super short, and I know that was a lot really quick. So if you have any questions at all, feel free to email me, feel free to call me. You can set up a meeting with me. I am always down to meet with you guys. So, and like Julie was saying, it is very, we're not doing as many in-person tours. So I would normally say that I would meet with you in person, but mostly we're doing just virtual stuff. So it will most likely just be a virtual meeting. But when we do get back to in-person tours, if you would like to schedule an in-person tour with me as well, I would love to do that. So that is all I have for you guys. Let me stop sharing my screen.